I'm Jesse Watson. I own part owner of Boxcar Coffee Shop. We also own the building. Who are you?
My name is Antonio. I'm head designer of Space Square, a company I founded, and I'm the head designer and also the owner and designer of this building as well. And that's me.
Yeah, what is Boxcar Coffee Shop? So the name has some real roots in Calder. When we designed Calder, well, I'd like to say when Antonio designed Boxcar, it was really about rooting it in its history. So we have a historic house. It's built out of a boxcar, which says a lot about the resilience of people back in the 1900s. So we came up with the name. We also wanted to focus on really unique items, stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. We're kind of in between like a restaurant and a cafe, kind of like a bistro. So you're going to come here and find unique tarts, different tres leches, Mayan tarts, stuff that's kind of unique. And when you come inside, you're good. We wanted an experience that is kind of almost overwhelming, but beautiful in the same way. So you come in, you see nice colors, nice textures, dimensions, but also at the same time very cozy. Um, yeah, and Tony, what are your thoughts on some of the designs?
So as Jesse mentioned, we wanted it to be rooted in Calder, which is historically related to the train. We have just a couple blocks away from here. It's the CN. And we also wanted to do that because we wanted to have an identity. So we wanted to hold the fact that wherever we would take Boxcar into the city or another city or anywhere else, the name itself would say like, well, what? Why Boxcar? Because it was founded, it was created here, so it came from here.
With that, the specialty bistro that you've created, why is it a bistro? Because I guess you could have done that with really any type of business. So where's the passion for the coffee and the treats coming from?
So the bistro part of the cafe was not necessarily something we thought and planned. It just happened. So I love cooking. So the kitchen part is mine. This is very social. So the coffee part is his. Um, so we originally when we thought about the cafe, it's like, well, what are we gonna do, right? So I'm from Mexico, so some of the stuff that we sell here has heritage, my heritage in it, um, and we started just based on what we were thinking people would come and kind of want to have with coffee, right? And we also want this place to be almost like an extension of the community living room, right? So they could come here and they can have a coffee, they can have something sweet, but also something salty, and spend some time talking and chatting without necessarily feel like, okay, I'm done with the cake and now I have to go, kind of thing.
What would you both say is your favorite thing on the menu that you serve?
What's favorite in the menu for me is the tres leches cake. So I love tres leches cake. It's very easy to do. We wanted to do something a little bit different here. Now in Mexico, there's different variations of it depending on what state you are on. Some there do a lot of fruit. Some do caramel. I tried once in a state called Veracruz, um, a piece that had pineapple on it. I don't know if that was because that's how they made it over there, but I just fell in love with it. Not very common. Never tried it like that, and I just love it.
And probably my favorite thing is the peanut butter and jam sandwich. I'm being totally honest here. So we take a sourdough, we whip peanut butter with whipped cream, we add fresh strawberries, caramel, and some magazines in town set call it the best PB&J they've ever had, and it is. It's loaded, so come and try it. But you have a PB&J and a tres leches and a lemon fog or something like that. You're probably gonna leave pretty happy,
That sounds like the best day of my life.
right?
Schedule me in for next Tuesday. I will be here.
Reserved.
Perfect. You had mentioned before when we were doing the latte art class that you've been open, I want to say about a year and a half now. What was that process like going from, this is our idea to let's make it happen to now having been open for a while and having guests coming in and people, rave reviews?
So I want to start that a little bit. So we've been open for a year and a half. The process went a little bit long because it's tied to the building itself as a whole, not just the space that we have here for the cafe. So we purchased the building. It was just 100% residential. We still wanted to keep the residential, but we had this idea of opening a coffee shop. So, but the process had to be so as we were renovating and fixing the building, we could still keep the revenue just to keep payments to the bank and keep it and make it sustainable, like financially, right? So we could keep going and going and going until we get to the part in which we were able to open the cafe, which was like a year and a half ago. But we started the process of the whole building like 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and opening up a cafe, no one's ever upset in a coffee shop. I mean, you're making people's days, right? There's very few breakups. Those usually happen at restaurants. But coffee shops really transform neighborhoods, and there's famous planners who will say, one building can change it all. This was a pretty rough street, and Calder was going through renewal. People who live in Edmonton, they hear Calder, they might think, hey, it's a little rough around the edges by the train yards. But there's a bit of a transformation happening, and what's really cool is since opening it, we have police coming, firefighters, and it's becoming safer. There's like eyes on the street, more people visiting. And so it's been like really transformational, probably beyond what we imagined, right? You open up just a coffee shop, but it's kind of turned into, like Antonio said, more extensions of people's living rooms and place to be in a real community hub.
And I bet the community here appreciates that. And I mean, I appreciate it. I'm not directly from this neighborhood, but living on the north side of Edmonton, like you don't really have a cute, fun coffee shop in a very close proximity. So a place like this, I can definitely see it being a hub that folks are able to gather in and have that extension of their living room and, meet friends for coffee.
Yeah, coffee is like transforming. It's Edmonton. It's really changing the landscape. Like people are driving from all over the city. I kind of joke you have north side cars, south side cars, and you see a lot of different cars coming, and people are leaving with a positive impression about Edmonton and the north side, right? They're coming here, they're saying, wow, this is really nice. I feel safe. I love the coffee. And they're going home and they're saying, wow, we really should, invest in Calder. And what's happened is a lot of the houses that are for sale actually stay next to Boxcar Coffee Shop. And you've made it, an impact on a community when that happens.
If you had to describe Boxcar in one word, what would it be?
For me, it would be passion.
Mine would be transformative. And what I mean by that is, it's changed us, it's changed the building, and it's changed the community. So I think it's just really been impactful and in a lot of different ways that we probably ever imagined.
And just to elaborate a little bit about what passion is, we really put like big effort on everything we do because of the love of what we do right now here. It's kind of like our life, always dream, right? So now that we have it in front of us, we just wanted to do the best.
How does it feel knowing that you've made such a positive impact on your community and the folks around you?
Yeah, how does the impact? How does it feel? What my goal is that in the beginning, we're not paying out of pocket, and we're employing people, right? That was like a goal. And what's really become neat is that 80% of the people that work here all live in Calder. Right? Like it's true localized business. You always hear governments and politicians and different groups say local business, and you think, what does that mean, right? And that's been really valuable, like to actually employ people in the neighborhood, and they've been here since the beginning, right? Like they're OGs, and that says a lot about the way you're managing it, and the happiness you bring to people. So for me, that's been really valuable in my journey about. It's kind of transcended just opening up a business, hoping for the best, but actually creating a place people actually want to work.
Yeah, for me it's just a happy place. So when thinking about it, that's kind of what we wanted, and it feels really good, and it's something so positive just to see the people coming here and us being able to transfer that positivity, that happiness to them, and then they leave happy.
What would you say is the most rewarding aspect of the work that you do?
The most rewarding things about the things I do here is I am able to express myself through food. Let's say in one way. So as a designer, which is also my passion, through design I feel that I feel that relief of that thing that you have that you want to express through your art. So here is through food. So every item that we have here on display and on our menu, it came from somewhere. And it was not just like, oh, I saw the recipe here, I saw a picture over here. Some of these recipes, as I said, they come from my heritage, and some others that were created here with the purpose of having something that would become um, an item, a little thing that you would come and taste and just stick to you like forever, if possible, right? So that's what it is.
What's rewarding for me is we got best coffee shop in the city in 2024, which was unbelievable, right? You know, I remember the day we were only open 7 months, and a magazine told us you guys are number one. And it was based on, you know, food, atmosphere, quality. You know, they had a bunch of judges. And from there, you know, it's just, you know, to be already among your peers who've been in the industry for so long, it's that's super rewarding to me. And the building, just the impact on the architecture and the landscape. You know, we have tours from across Canada, Institute of Planners, architects. We actually got a design award for the building. We actually took the money we won and we designed and built a mural on another building nearby, and just to bring more walkability and, you know, improve the landscape. So, you know, awarding is literally getting awards. That's pretty cool, and it's just kind of helped us become like you know, a bit of an icon on the north side.
Having this conversation, I can feel the passion and enthusiasm that you've put into not only the cafe here or the building, but improving the lives of other people in the community. Where did that passion come from?
Yeah, like you know, for myself personally, I think, you know, when you look, I'm a planner. That's my background. You know, community focus. I always grew up with this comment about, you know, like I said, one building can change it all. Eyes on the street, safety. I think architecture, especially when you're trained in another country like Antonio was in Mexico, it's about building for people. It's not just a building, you know, that's about creating a place that is inspirational and important. It's like, you don't want to just design a box as a utility, right? To just get a coffee, go make money. The world's not just about money. It's about, you know, making places that people want to be. And yeah, it's okay to make a little bit of money, maybe not tons of money, you know? And the trade-off is you create better spaces that people actually want to be.
In my case, this passion comes from, you know, we're not kids. We went through all the process of in life of discovering what we want in life, what we want to do, what made us happy, and I think at this point we have. So the fact that we know what it is and we're able to do it, that's what satisfies our hunger for that, right? To be able to actually do something that we love.
If you could pack up like the building, the atmosphere, yourselves, and take Boxcar anywhere in the world, where would you want to take it?
Yeah, if we could package Boxcar, what's really interesting is over the last year we've been asked to go expand, and a lot of places, and you know, we've decided that we can't package Boxcar. It's one of a kind. We can't transport it somewhere else. There's something about the courtyard and the building, but we want to focus and kind of build on what we have. So our goal is actually to build another building here behind Boxcar. We're currently in permitting for that, and we want to open up an ice cream shop and a breakfast place.
Oh my gosh,
hopefully.
cute!
And kind of build a little trifecta of community, a little hub, you know, extension. Maybe the name would be Caboose for ice cream, you know, build on the train themes. And yeah, just create a little, like a true hub, more destinations. So if a family comes and the kids aren't drinking coffee, they can have ice cream, and just create a bit of more destinations. So that'd probably be my answer to, you know, transporting Boxcar somewhere. It's kind of one of a kind, and we're going to focus a little bit on on what we've built here so far.
You've both spoken about so many positive and beautiful things. With that, though, obviously comes the ups and downs along with life. What would you say has been the biggest challenge in getting Boxcar to where it is now, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest challenges of opening up a new business is, and I'm very good friends with some of them now, but the roller coasters of the influencer world. So social media really drives business now. And so when we first opened, luckily we didn't have to do any advertising at all. But we would have an influencer come, and we were understaffed, and we'd have lineups out the door. And with that, people have service expectations, and so you're kind of a bit on a roller coaster of what do you do? Do you staff? Like, how do you manage that? It's stabilized, luckily. And yeah, some of the influencers in Edmonton we've become great friends with. They've helped us now. They've partnered with us. So you kind of evolved. Obviously, we were doing it okay in the beginning, so we didn't get read for filth too bad. But that was definitely a challenge because, one day it's a high, the next day it's a low, and you're kind of thinking, what did I do the right thing? You don't want to unemploy people, but it's been very good. We've been very happy and very lucky and fortunate.
Yeah, another challenge is like this is our first business of this type, so we didn't know much in terms of experience. So we did our research, we asked people, everything, but it's not the same once you start and you actually face real situations, real time, right? And you're like panic and you don't know what to do, and that a mistake could cost you, like a bad reputation, for example. Um, Hopefully that's not happening. We've been very lucky, and I feel like if you're positive and if you're always trying to do the best you can, people notice that. So people see the intention, and it's just like, oh well, bad service, bad this. If they see you're working hard to get it, you didn't get it, but behind that was the goodwill of doing it. They appreciate that, so that's good.
I'll never forget the day that a couple came in and we didn't know coffee at all, how to make coffee, how to milk coffee. And anyone watching this who's from a coffee place, thanks for bearing with us over those first 6 months. But a couple came in and asked for these drinks, and we had no idea how to make the drink, and we were Googling in the back. And then the one girl came up and she's like, I'll make the drink for you. She actually helped us make the drink. And that was very, very good. People are patient. They're mostly, they want to help you out, especially if you're honest about it, right? It's just being honest. But that was an experience I'll never forget, opening up a place. But it shows the compassion people actually have, and the willingness to be patient, which is really good, especially in the coffee world.
So neither of you had experience like working in the coffee world at all?
No, I did a stint at Starbucks for a year 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But besides that, yeah, we've never done it.
I have an espresso machine at home. That's my practice.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
And you kind of get trained from the roaster for 1 hour.
Yeah.
And then the espresso guys they'll train you, and then you're kind of just set to the wolves. And you got to develop the menu and figure it out. And I would say most coffee places have somebody who's experienced to start. We didn't. But by some miracle, we got to where we had some staff who had experience, which is nice.
Yeah, we had people come and train us.
And they helped us. We had another coffee shop come a few months later and train us on milking. And now we had advanced latte artist from Korea. She trained us on advanced latte art. So we're now at top of the top. Obviously a year and a half later, teaching latte art classes, which is awesome and super fun. People love taking latte art classes.
Can you speak a bit about the coffee that you use and the roaster for folks who are super into coffee and know what that information means?
You can do that.
Yeah. We in the beginning we looked around for different roasters, and we ended up with Anecdote Coffee. I'd just say they courted us really well. They treated us like kings and queens, and their coffee ended up tasting pretty good. So in the beginning, you do sips, little slurps, and we had no clue. We didn't know coffee. We're tasting it. It's like okay, but they're actually Square One. So if you've been to Square One Coffee, there's a few locations in town. They've been really helpful. So now we get the beans from there, and soon we'll be actually going black label, is what it's called. So we'll be having our own brand, a train theme, but it'll be roasted by Anecdote.
So cool.
Yeah, so Anecdote has been with us from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And those latte art classes, for folks who are like, oh my gosh, I would love to learn latte art, where would they find the information for that? How often are they held? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we have latte art classes every 2 weeks. So we're booked out now till the 10th of March. We usually do max 4 people a class. If you're interested, just chat us on Instagram, or you can check the website and book it that way as well. So you kind of learn dialing in espresso based, if you might have a home-based machine, how do you actually get the right weight, milk texturing, you don't want bubbles, you want microfoam.
I've learned that.
And then the pouring. There's techniques to pour, hopefully leaving with a heart. We do have advanced classes as well. We have a guy on the team, his name's Jarek. He is amazing at latte art, doing unicorns and everything under the sun. And so we do have advanced classes once you get there. You're going to need a bit of practice though. Yeah, for sure.
And sorry to interrupt. This is one of the things that we do here, because we have the fortune that own the property. So we have a courtyard, which is beautiful in summer. So when it's possible, we also cater and rent a place for small events. Like if it's your birthday, for example, just call us, reservation, and what do you want? Because we also do custom cakes. And if you have a favorite dessert, we can even try it as well. So we have a functional kitchen. And like I said, cooking is our passion here, so we'll find a way to get it. So yeah. So it's not just the classes, yeah.
So much to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can always just come in for a treat and a coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful. Then last question for you. It doesn't have to specifically pertain to Boxcar, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
I would say something. The best piece of advice that I've received, this was when I finished university. We usually have, like, every generation has like a godfather, right? And we pick somebody, like, I don't know, the teacher that we all loved, for example. So he was one of them. And he said one by one was naming us and telling us one thing about each of us. So to me, he was like, you're very serious. You take things too serious most of the time. So please don't. Life is not that serious. So you have to find a balance. So through that, and it's true. So you work very, very hard, but you have to recognize yourself as well. You're not always gonna get it right? The learning is what stays with you, and it's what you have to be able to take it to the next stage in life, and then overcome whatever you're working on.
Yeah, a piece of advice is, I had a manager tell me this once. He drove me crazy because he'd always make me re-edit his stuff, but he said, go with your gut. And when we bought this building, people said you're crazy, it's a derelict building. We started to design it. People said you're crazy, you're going to over design, and coffee shop in Calder, you're nuts. So every single milestone we passed it. We got a return on investment. We got the best coffee shop in the city, and we've transformed people's lives. So I always say, go with your gut. It's usually correct.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. We can't wait to see everything that comes next
Yeah,
for
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So you've come for latte art class. So the goal is hopefully that you're going to be able to leave here doing a heart.
That's
Okay, which is pretty cool. Maybe we'll have like a heart off at the end where you both try to get the heart, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I love those. Okay.
So we kind of teach you 3 things, kind of like it's called dialing in coffee. So you might have a coffee machine at home that you want to try to do. Milk texture, you have to have certain milk and texture to get the right consistency and able to do the art. And then the last is the pouring. Okay, so kind of 3 things. So I'll walk you through quickly the steps, and then you're going to copy my steps.
Okay.
Sounds good?
No pressure.
No pressure. You'll ace this, no problem. So the first thing you want to do is you want to weigh the shot. weigh it there. You call what's punch it, so you get the espresso out. Now the espresso comes out at a certain weight, okay? It's like 18 grams. If you ever buy beans from somewhere, you want to ask them what you need to pour the beans at in weight. It's important because things can taste sour or bitter depending on how much weight relative to pour.
Oh wow.
You put it into the machine and
It smells so good.
it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
So this one's kind of like a medium roast. Sometimes you'll have light, dark. Light is fruit, dark is chocolate. Okay, in a nutshell. So it pours. So what's happening is it's pouring at 36 grams of water, 18 grams of weight, and it should pour around 30 seconds. 30 seconds is what we call the God shot, meaning it's a perfect shot. So it's coming okay. So when you look at that, it's pouring all right. So in the meantime, we're gonna teach you 8-ounce pitchers. So an 8-ounce is basically a cappuccino. Okay? We use Italian style. Now this poured at 30 seconds. It is officially the God shot. Okay?
Wow.
So in theory, if you took a shot of espresso right now, not that you like espresso, what do you drink?
I usually drink like plain lattes.
Plain lattes?
Me too.
Yeah. So that might be too hardcore to drink right now. So you always purge the wand because sometimes stuff can get inside. This thing is super hot, like 180 degrees. You know, it goes. Home ones are pretty slow, so if you're doing it at home, it might take a bit longer. So there's a certain angle you can come around and check it out. Okay, so basically you want to have the spout at a certain location, and then you just turn it on, and you want to have what's called a vortex. Okay, and so the water's swirling in a perfect vortex, and you want to hold the cup. Because that'll essentially tell you the weight. And I already splashed, see? So you're definitely going to be splashing if I splash it. So come over here. We take the shot we just poured. I'll pour like this. Now what we sometimes do in cappuccinos is we add cocoa, like that. Just so it comes a little bit more. And then as you pour it, you kind of do a little swirl like this, okay? And you have like a 30-degree angle. And then you start pouring it. This is a little bit of thick milk, and you come up to the top, and in theory, you can get a little rosette. Now, this is a little rough around the edges. I haven't worked all day today, give me some credit. But in the end, you can do like different rosettes, hearts, etc. Okay?
Fun. Okay.
Okay. So that was like the sped up version. Yeah, do a little circle. Now, you want to try to do a 30-degree. The cup, right at this point, you want to have it like almost 30 degrees.
Okay.
So you can pour it. So yeah, start going in.
Is this 30 degrees? I'm sorry.
Give or take.
I'm like,
she's like, I'm not in math. There it is.
Oh.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, a rose. Okay.
let's just make it. It's actually the Boxcar logo.
Oh yeah.
I was going
That's
for a
true.
car.
That's true.
Wow.
It's going on
Wow,
our. It's definitely
Bridget.
going on our cards. Okay, so go do a nice little round circle. The cup's a nice angle, so you have that at the right height. Okay, now kind of pause for a sec, and then you want to pour, and try to. Okay, yeah.
I made my own heart.
Yes.
Good
job. Yay.
Thanks, guys.
Aww.
It kind of looks like a balloon heart.
I see that. I'll take it. A balloon heart.
Very
So
cute. Very
cute.
cute.
That's so fun. Thank you.
Well done. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Hey everyone!
It's so dark too.
Yeah.
We just finished up at Boxcar Coffee. Yum, number one. What a fun environment. Like, it's so pretty, so calming. It feels like I've genuinely stepped into like just a different place. Like, it feels like it should be in like LA or something like that, which is great because it's 15 minutes away from my house. Don't find me. So,
And I'm sure you guys have heard me say this before. I am not a coffee person, but genuinely really good coffee, and I just had it with some milk. Like, I didn't even add. They're like, "Do you want vanilla?" I'm like, "I'm good, actually. Thank you."
Super yummy, a lot of fun. It gives, like, for me, The Great Gatsby. Like, if you've ever seen that movie, like, I felt like in that era of time. I don't know what era that is, but
the Art Deco era.
that one. That's what it is. That's what it feels like. Sahar gets it. And also, I just want to say, the passion for community is touching. Yes. We work with a lot of businesses and a lot of people, but I don't know, it just still, like, surprises me in a good way to see how much people care about other people, especially with everything going on in the world. And you can tell that they care and they're trying to have a positive impact on the community and on the folks around, because like even the expansion plans of like having ice cream and having other options for folks that don't like coffee, like I don't know, it's just caring and cute, and I'm excited for when there's an ice cream shop there as well.
I see the vision.
Try them, y'all.